My name is Jason, and this is Just Watches. Okay, today we have a watch from San Martin, and in addition to the review of the watch, I will also be providing a review of their customer service. Now, I purchased this watch with my own money, and when I had an issue with it, I made a warranty claim, and they had no idea that I did have a watch review channel. Therefore, I believe my experience was an accurate representation of what you can expect. However, before we get to the review, if you're enjoying the contents of this channel, I invite you to subscribe, and if you like the contents of this individual video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much. So price and availability, as of the recording of this video, this watch is available for $299 on the San Martin Watches website, but it does come up for sale. Right now I actually see it listed for $269. It also comes in a number of different colorways. The case is 39 millimeters in diameter, but the bezel is actually 40 and slightly overhangs the case. The lug-to-lug distance is 48.5 millimeters. The thickness is 12.5, and then the lug width opening is 20 millimeters. Now, sized for my 6 3/4 inch wrist, it weighs in at 133 grams. The finishing on this case is quite good, especially considering the price point. It's primarily brushed, but there are high polished chambers on the edges of the mid case and around the edge of the bezel. The finishing on the head of the watch is very consistent with the finishing on the bracelet. The case is quite flat, so it definitely wears its full lug-to-lug distance, but that is partially offset by the negative end lengths. One thing that is notable about this watch, especially when compared to the watch it is homaging, is just how thin it is. The stock bracelet has solid end lengths, and there is almost no play between the bracelet and the head of the watch. The articulation across the back of the watch is excellent, and between the links is decent, two factors that really add to the overall comfort of a bracelet. The 3-link style is fully brushed on top and high polish on the sides. There is an excellent 4mm taper from 20 all the way down to 16, before jumping back up to only 18 on this pretty sleek clasp. The San Martin logo is applied against a brushed background, and nice high polished chamfers are applied onto the edges. The scissor is fully milled, and there are 4 micro positions to ensure you get a good fit. Sizing is accomplished with screw lengths, and a screwdriver that fits perfectly is provided with the watch, which is a really nice detail. Overall, this is an excellent bracelet at this price point, and I love the dramatic taper that is preserved by the use of this smaller and sleeker clasp. The screw-in case back helps provide 100 meters of water resistance, but it's actually completely sterile with no decoration or even information about the watch on it. This watch is powered by the new Seiko GMT NH34. This is a hacking, hand-winding, 21,600 vibration per hour movement with a 42-hour power reserve and a stated accuracy of -20 to +40 seconds a day. It also features that collar GMT hand and a quick set date. You can see on the time grapher this one is keeping good time at about -1 to -3 seconds a day with the dial up, and -8 to -11 seconds a day with the crown up. The 7mm screw down crown is really nicely finished with chunky, high polished knurling, and is also signed with the San Martin logo raised against a satin background. The threading and unthreading action is very smooth. It's pretty impressive to see a crown this nice at this price point. The top hat sapphire crystal is about 1.5mm proud of the bezel and is treated with anti-reflective coating. The crystal adds quite a bit of character to the watch, and despite it being so pronounced, the overall thickness of the watch remains under 13mm. The fixed bezel is nicely brushed and then has a high polished chamfer around the edge that adds just a little pop to the bezel overall. The GMT hours are separated by dashes in a rich black, making the bezel extremely easy to read. The bezel is actually slightly larger in diameter and then overhangs slightly over the case of the watch. The matte black dial has a half railroad track for the minutes around the edge. Large Lume plots mark the hours with a triangle at 12. A beveled date window resides at 3 with San Martin at 12, and 3 lines of text at 6 with GMT in orange to match the GMT hand. This dial is all business and very easy to read. The San Martin logo is a bit strange, but if you prefer, you can get this watch as a sterile dial version if you don't like it. The handset is black at the hour stack, and then the hour, minute, and second hands are high polish. I like this choice as it adds just a bit of flash to the otherwise very matte dial and mostly brushed case. The minute hand is a great length, reaching to the dashes around the edge of the dial. The second hand has a blacked out counterbalance. The long orange GMT hand is similar in shape to the second hand, but the colors set them apart easily. All 4 hands are lumed. Again, this watch is very legible overall. A nice blue BGW9 lume is used on the hands and indices. The lume is very responsive, bright, and long-lasting. It's the type of lume that if you walk past a window and look down, the watch will be brightly glowing. You can see it's on par with Seiko Lume Bright here. Here is the watch on my 6 3/4 inch wrist. It's a nice middle size that should work well on a wide variety of wrist sizes. My one complaint is just how flat the case is, and you can see it rides a bit funny on my wrist sometimes. So pros and cons, starting with the pros. First, the overall finishing and feeling of quality on this watch is phenomenal for the price point. I've always been impressed by what San Martin can offer, especially if you wait for a good sale. Second, the bracelet is quite nice with that 4mm taper and the screwed links. Third, this watch is very thin, especially compared to the watch it is homaging. Last, the fact that they honored their warranty is a massive positive, more on that later. As for cons, the GMT hand is ever so slightly misaligned. I don't think this is something you would notice unless you really look for it, but it is something I check when I have a GMT watch. Second is just how flat the case is. This is mostly due to the shape of my wrist, but I really prefer cases with lugs that curve down. So when I first received this watch, it would stop running after about 4 hours. I tried winding it all the way up, and again it would stop after a few hours. I contacted San Martin, and they basically gave me a procedure to do, which I sort of just slapped the watch to kind of see if it could correct the problem. However, after performing this procedure a few times, the watch would still just stop after a few hours. I contacted San Martin again, and they agreed to repair or replace the watch. I sent it back to them at my cost, which was about $24 on January 3rd. On February 27th, I received the watch back. It appears they replaced it with a brand new one, and I'm happy to report it is working perfectly. This makes me feel very comfortable purchasing again from San Martin. I know some of the risk of buying from factory brands is a difficult warranty experience. The only real downside that I had was I had to pay shipping, and then I had to wait about 2 months to get the watch back. However, I'm very satisfied with the experience overall. So there you have it, the San Martin NH34 39mm BB GMT. What do you think about this watch? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, if you're enjoying the contents of this channel, I invite you to subscribe. And if you like the contents of this individual video, please give it a thumbs up. That's all for this time. My name is Jason, and you have been watching Just Watches.